Ladies and gentlemen, Side Strafe back with some more World of Tanks. Today we're going to start things out with the Centurion Mark 7/1 on mines. So let's see how this goes. Perhaps we can grab a quick position within the village. Okay, looks like we've got some hill rushers per usual. I don't want to take this side by myself, of course. And we do need to be careful. We need a scout. Who's our scout? We've got no scouts. Type 59 would be the only thing, really, but let's get some backup here. We'll support this T-34 and perhaps some of the heavies going around the hill there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and push up to the next round of houses here. We got to be careful. ISU 152. This might be decent for hull down action right here. Not sure. But he has a lot of building cover. Looks like he's going to be dead soon. What do we got? Building cover. If I could get around here. Take him out. We are now lit. Grab cover. Yag Tiger. Remember, we are a big target, in some cases larger than heavy tanks. Bring the hull about. One into the Yag Tiger. They're not really paying too much attention to me, but they might be now. I'm out. Back, back, back. Alright, that was the 8.8 Yag Tiger who is on to us. I believe artillery is wanting to work on us as well. We've got a T-34 who just got destroyed. Alright, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of recon there. There's a Lorraine. Shoot. Just trying to light them up a bit. Anything? Yeah. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. That wasn't worth it. You get a shot out, but they take you as well. 8.8. He's going to be one of those guys that's just a stubborn son of a gun. He's going to sit there looking at me all day long. But Lorraine is the problem too, but he's not really looking at us. Artillery is also my concern. No dice on the Lorraine. We're lit again. IS is probably going to take a hit from the Yagged. We're going to push up through here and maintain cover from the artillery. T-34 at their little base. Wait a minute, Ferdinand, what's he doing just chilling over there like that? Alright. And the Lorraine, yeah, so it's a good thing I didn't just decide to charge forward like that. Dang it, where'd that 34 go? Come on. We've got this game, but I'm just not wanting to charge into 3 tanks. Nice. Managed to do some landscaping. Or some remodeling, I should say, I guess, but let's see if I can pen him there. I can. Is he aware now? What you looking at, Chief? Yeah, that front's not going to do anything for you. I see him looking low. I see what you're looking at. Aw. They could still win this. Not really. Reload time is so long. Lorraine! Alright, well, nothing amazing there, but a win is a win. But that was a decent flanking maneuver that we did there. We tied them up for a little bit. Had them looking in the other direction. Alright, second really on that one. That's pretty good. It's all about that damage. It's a pretty small map, so it can be an interesting fight for this tank because you're so large. Again, I talked about it a little bit in another video, but I was making a size comparison. Here we have, obviously, a medium tank, or in this game, what's considered a medium tank, although in real life it was a main battle tank. Here's what's considered a heavy tank for the Americans, Tier 10, the T110. Look at the size. This thing is, in some, I mean, the hull is larger, I think. I mean, wow. When you really look at it like that. Again, this is just for those people that constantly want to yell at you for supposedly being in a medium tank and, you know, thinking that you need to be at the front line flanking people when you just can't. 40 kilometers an hour is not going to cut it. You got a lot of acceleration, great horsepower, but again, the size and the fact that the armor value on the hull is terrible, that's not what it's for. It's just a sniper. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's one thing that I'm definitely sure of. But I think I'm going to go into the Black Prince here. This isn't really a review for this tank because I know I haven't necessarily reviewed it or covered it, but it's basically an upgraded Churchill tank. The armor on this, as you can see, for Tier 7, 152 on both the hull and the turret fronts is fantastic. I think it's the most well-armored Tier 7 heavy. The T29 has a better turret. If we look at that, 279, but not in the hull. That's only 102. And then even the Tiger is 100 both. So this thing is crazy. This will bounce so many shots, even though it's got flat armor. If you angle it, this thing in the right games is really hard to pen. And the downside is that it only does 20 kilometers, which is very painful. Gun is nothing to write home about. It's quick firing, but the damage is just not there. So I am starting to work on some of the British heavies in my spare time. It's nothing that's a priority. From what I've heard as of late, they may not swap out the Tier 10 heavy for another tank. There was rumors that the Brits might see an early prototype version of the Chieftain as their Tier 10, and that the 215B would be turned into a tank destroyer. But instead, it seems that they're just creating the 215, was it the A or something like that? Another version of the 215 will be a tank destroyer with a larger gun. But I think the one that's in the 10 slot right now will remain. So, you know, for those of you looking to get 2 tanks for the price of 1, I wouldn't count on it. At least that's what we've seen from the World of Tanks news so far. Besides, I'm sure that in terms of business, Wargaming would probably want to avoid that. But, you know, it is what it is. A lot of people don't like the final British heavies. Can't really speak for them. You know, we'll have to see. I'd still rather get my final Tier 10 medium.
Let's get this show on the road.
Alright, so I'm going to go towards the city with this bad boy. We've got 3 pieces of artillery. Don't want to get caught out in the field because, again, the speed is your major drawback. And this is one of those tanks where I say to myself, you know what? Am I going to keep this tank? I don't know. I thought, you know what? I'm going to sell it. It's probably worth 700+ thousand credits if you sell it. I got it at a discounted rate, so that was nice. I think it was 50% off credits, but I kind of have fun with it. The fact, like, I don't have a lot of tanks that bounce shots, and this one does very well. As you can see, we got a problem here. They've got 2 heavies out in the field there. It's going to meet up with some mediums right now. I'm going to keep moving this way because this is one of those tanks where once you've made up your mind, you can't change your direction. You're just too slow. Although we might lose the field and therefore lose artillery. I mean, I could go back to base and defend. That's always an option. But we do have a medium midfield and a tank destroyer in the streets. They could perhaps look across. My instinct is saying stay at base and defend. I am low tier here. I'm the scout, guys. I'm the lowest tier tank. No. But, so this might not go very well for me, but we'll see what happens. But anyways, yeah, I was kind of talking about just keeping this tank because sometimes it's fun to just be able to bounce shots once in a while and then have a different play style. There are times, depending on what you're fighting against, that you can just charge in and, hey, what's up, IS-6? Kind of here. See if they decide to rush around that corner. That IS-6 could be problematic. I don't really have good cover at this point in time. But we do have superiority on this side. But again, as you can see, we've lost the village in the field to the east. So they're going to run into the base soon. What killed that guy? I'm not sure. Alright, we've got nothing at base. Problem is I'm worried about the second I turn here. Oh. That I run into that. So I'm going to try to just fall back in reverse mode. And eventually end up back at base. Hopefully they need to just push that side so we can go back. Alright. I don't normally recommend this, but there's nobody really strong at base. Again, I am low man on the totem pole, but let's just see what we can do. You never know. Artillery can go into TD mode. And we do have the Pershing there to buy time. I don't know what this FCM 50 ton is doing. I'm on my way very slowly, but Pershing should be able to handle this IS-3, I think, if I can get some good shots into him. I think they're doing alright, though. I think they're in TD mode. Aw, just fired the second he exploded. Alright, well, they managed to do that. I think this is going to be a less than stellar battle, but it could still go either way. At this point, I am going to travel through the field and maybe come through the other street. Again, though, you can see where I've already made mistakes because the tank is so slow that you can't afford to change directions. I did because, you know, I didn't know if these guys were going to be able to defend. And I was like, you know what, better be safe than sorry. There's so many times where I've not gone back thinking, oh, they'll handle it, and they're dead, so. Alright, we're losing tanks mid. Not exactly here for artillery hunting. I might be able to come in on some flanks here. That's a TD, and he just missed. And I'm going to be able to reload and fire another shot. That was a track attempt. He's bailing, though. He doesn't want to deal with me. Now he does. I can afford to fire... Ow, that hurt. Alright, that wasn't worth it. That was not worth it at all. Look how much health I lost compared to what I put into him. That was bad. I'm not aware of what his complete reload time is. Alright, I'm done with this game. I wish somebody would come around because he is distracted. See, this is fine though because I'm buying time. If he wants to stay and look at me all day long, that's fine. He's kind of turned around there. They'll come up behind him shortly. This is... oh, crap. T-34. Do I have a shot? I do. There we go. I kind of want to be at an angle that allows me to look with the front of my tank, but... See, he's still... got his eyes on me. They're going to come up right behind him. And I know this seems boring, but honestly, we're doing a job here by buying time. And he's just decided to give up on me. Oh, he's going to get kill steal. Kill stolen. Oh, okay, we got him. Now time to run. So I don't want to get nuked by artillery. Alright, Lorraine. And the Lion. Once again, not really an amazing game, but we did manage to do some good. You don't necessarily need to just grab kills and damage. I mean, sure, is it going to get you XP doing what I just did? No. But the fact that we tied up a tank destroyer, you know, it's doing something. The other guys could have come up behind him, taken him out. But luckily he just decided to forget about me, and that's usually when you finish it. Not sure where I took my hit. Probably... I can't even really see it. I always like to investigate my tank to see where it went in, so you know for the future, you know, the weak spot, but I don't even see the damage. So it could have went maybe through the side portion where the track is and just went into the hull. Just cap, it's more fun, is it? I'd say that... it's more fun to obliterate the enemy, but you're going to get more efficiency and whatnot, but screw that. I'd rather just kill these things. Because if you think about it, you're letting them get away. And if they get away, they're just laughing. They think, oh, I made it. I survived. Because that's what I do. Alright, whole team lost, but I'm still alive. I'm too slow to chase this guy. Yeah, he's done. He's like, I'm out of here. I mean, when you have 5 minutes left and you know that you could probably find the guy, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would still cap because you never know. It's just, you don't want to sit in the game for the rest of the 5 minutes and then be like, wow, we couldn't get him because he just outran us. I mean, some of those artillery pieces are pretty quick. I think especially the French ones. Again, nothing amazing there, but we did manage to grab that tank destroyer. So whatever's clever, that works for me. Again, an interesting tank. that wasn't a good example of its armor, but we were the low man on the totem pole. Otherwise, like if you're top tier, you could you'll get steel wall almost every time if you're getting hit. Obviously, I don't recommend getting hit in the first place, but this is one of those tanks where you can plow through buildings and just keep going at somebody. Because a lot of, at least the North American servers, a lot of people still aren't familiar with what the British tanks do. And they see this thing rolling, they're like, oh, whatever, it looks like a Churchill. I'm just going to shoot at whatever. And then they don't realize that this thing has 152 armor on it. Flat, but, you know, it's got some interesting bits here. Like if you try to hit at this, you know, that's probably not going to work out for you. And then the bottom part is sloped at the very extreme angle there, and then here a bit, and then of course that, forget it, don't even bother. Although I have been hit here, which is strange. This, you know, these are probably going to be your weak spots. You've got the kind of gun mantlet here that's looks like it maybe has some weak points, but still you are dealing with 152 at the front, and 95 even on the sides is actually not horrible, considering the Tiger only has 100 at the front. This thing has 95 on the sides. So you could probably do some side scraping with it. I don't know if this is going to count as a weak spot or something there. But extremely weak, 25 on the rear. But and then there's your gun. So you could actually consider this a mini review for this tank. I'm probably not going to make a specific video for this one. I actually don't care all that much about this tank as it is. I would eventually like to get in the Carnarvon, but it's going to be a while because I don't play this that often. And I wouldn't mind trying the Conqueror. This thing is kind of awkward. I played it in beta. It's just with the turret that far back, you're pretty much a sniper tank destroyer because you can't do any peekaboo around buildings and whatnot. So kind of strange. I mean, if they could get a prototype chieftain tank in there, that would be ideal. Otherwise, you're going to see a version of this as a tank destroyer. We'll see how that goes. Some of the TDs that the Brits are getting are pretty ugly. I mean, they're kind of strange looking, but I wouldn't mind getting back into a Conqueror, having tried one in beta. It seems like they have decent main guns with the rate of fire that's adequate for a heavy tank. So we'll see what happens there. But I've unlocked this thing, the FV4202. I just don't have the credits, and as you can see, I'm pretty far away from it. I really think, I mean, it's going to play similar to the Centurion. The chassis of the hull is a little lower profile, closer to the ground, and you know, it might make it a harder target to hit. I'm not sure about the turret. I think this thing just overall, as you can see, hull armor is about the same, but it's got more of an extreme slope to it. So that might help. And then turret armor 196. Which I think this is 165. So it's got a better turret, although this one actually doesn't have a gun mantlet. So I'm not sure about that. I've heard some strange things about it. It's very sloped, but I've heard people complaining about the durability of that turret on this tank. So we'll have to see. Again, I wouldn't put it really in a situation where it needs to take hits anyway. It's got the same speed limit, and really it's going to play almost the same. The gun, you know, like I said, you've got your tier 10 gun on the 9. So, you know, other than in this maybe firing, let's see, 6.45 rate of fire. Potential, you have, there's, well, I mean, because it's, you see here it says 5 to 6.45. So this is just a guaranteed, I guess, flat out 6.45. So potential to reload faster, a little faster maybe. And then I'm guessing just everything else is, yeah, about the same engine and whatnot. So again, the real key to this thing is how low profile it is. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but if not, check out the replays or test servers when they're available. But I think that's it for now. Looking at not really moving up in the American tree too much, I don't think. I'd like to get this one day, but I sold this for money at one point, and I have, unless I rebuy it, which I'm not going to do anytime soon. I'd like to get the T110E4. Otherwise, going to take my time with the Tiger line. Not anything there. Not worried about these trees. British, slow climb up the heavy, and eventually just try to afford this. That's probably my next purchase. And I think that's pretty much covering it. Nothing else that I'm necessarily looking forward to. I can't say that I'm interested in many of the British tank destroyers coming out, but that's that. I do get a lot of requests to take a look at lower tier tanks, but the reason I don't is because, well, anybody can get to tier 5 and 6 pretty quickly on their own. There's not much reason for me to play with them. They're run-of-the-mill. There's replays and videos of most of the lower tier tanks all over the internet. It's just not worth my time in playing them if I don't feel like it too, because let's face it, this is my entertainment. This is enjoyment to me, and you know, I have fun just at some of the higher tiers. I just think some of the tanks are cooler. I think they're more aesthetically pleasing. I like the firepower on this bad boy. Knowing that I can take out anything on the field is just pretty satisfying to me, and that's why you see me in big tanks all the time. Sure, do I like some of these? I've kept them. Obviously, the Wolverine is one of my favorite tank destroyers. Very underrated. Phenomenal tank. M4A3 Easy 8. Great medium as well. The only problem it has is the high silhouette. You know, I got some premiums. My Super Pershing is a great money maker at the medium line. But otherwise, you know, Sherman, I've even kept this Sherman, which is still a decent tank. A lot of people like to use it with the derp gun and premium rounds. I hate that so very much. I still kind of have a grudge against premium ammunition, but you know, what can you do? You just got to deal with it at this point. But that's it. Just covering some of the things that I'll be looking at or working on in regards to my lineups. Still, I just don't really have any interest in the Chinese tanks right now, guys. Russian, Chinese, French. I probably won't be playing them. I don't have unlimited time. I don't have you know, the credits and the gold to be able to buy all these tanks. I don't get these for free. I have to grind them up, and if I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to get into it just for a review. I don't do reviews. I just kind of create overviews of tanks just to, you know, to inform you, but they're only overviews of tanks that I really want. I don't just grab a tank. You know, if somebody says, oh, you know, review the KV-1. Well, I had it at one point, but I didn't like it, so I didn't want to review it. That's kind of what it is, because pretty much everything on my channel is about just, you know, me enjoying myself and then hopefully providing you guys with entertainment while doing so. But anyways, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this look at World of Tanks. Once again, I will see you on the next one.